Yes.
Yo.
Broski.
Broseph. What's happening?
Put in a bid on an auction for a new car, and I've got it.
Oh, yeah?
Iconic movie car.
That's pretty cool.
You're never gonna guess what it is.
I don't know. Batmobile?
No.
Scooby-Mobile?
No.
Ghostbusters?
No.
Barbie's pink Corvette?
Yeah, funny.
I don't know, tell me.
It's the DeLorean from Back to the Future.
Sweet.
Yes, man. I'm serious.
So what are you gonna do, get rid of your Poorvette?
Still got the Poorvette. It's not going anywhere. Got the DeLorean basically just so I can drive it from time to time.
Dude, you're a dork all the time. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Daynator channel and another episode of Thrill-Billy's Project Poorvette. In the last episode, you saw quite the adventure Thrill-Billy had with this Poorvette breaking down on the side of the highway, turned into a weeks-long fiasco to get this thing back on the road again. In today's episode, he's fighting off some pretty bad electrical gremlins. Can he fix it? About to find out. Enjoy the video. What's up, everybody? Back to the Project Poorvette. Wouldn't you know it, she's giving me fits again. Just got done with the smog pump delete pulley kit installation. Even put a new alternator on the car. Been running into an issue where I go to start the car after it's been sitting, for a day, several hours, a week, and I just get this. So as you can see, I get a battery drain on the car and I've got to figure out what's causing it. I don't know if the battery is bad. I replaced the alternator, and since then I've run the car and it doesn't really seem to help keep the battery charged. Too lazy to take the battery out, take it into town and have it tested. So I just bought a new one. I've got a new ground cable for the battery, negative battery terminal. The bolt head on my current terminal is rounded off and it takes a vice grip just to get it off.
No. Nope.
I'm really getting tired of it. Previous video saw me plug in the fuse for the interior accessory lights and the radio and all that kind of stuff. And pretty much ever since then, I've been having issues with the car starting. So I'm guessing there's something going on with that. I don't have a battery charger anymore because it fried on me. I'm gonna put a fresh battery in it, new ground cable on it, and I'm gonna see if I can figure out if I've got a parasitic draw by using my multimeter and all that. I really don't know what I'm doing, so I Googled some stuff on the internet. This isn't going to be one of those videos that teaches you how to find a parasitic draw. I'm relying on the smartness of other people to help me fumble my way through this. So got my helper here, aka voluntold to help me. So she didn't say no, so she's gonna help me work on this. I forgot what I was gonna say. Mickey Mouse and his friends were in the dashboard of this car, so I don't know if there's a tube wire somewhere that's causing some kind of amp draw or something. I don't know. Car doesn't smell like it's on fire when I turn the key, and it's always in the driveway in one piece when I come back. It hadn't caught fire and burned to the pavement, so I guess
that's always good.
That's always good. Let's get the bonnet open and see if we can get this new cable on and get a new battery in with my help here. Always something. Yeah. All right, so there's my battery. There's the negative terminal that's got the rounded off nut there, and got a new one. I'm gonna throw that on there. Got to chase down where the bolts into the ground. Well, there's probably a lot of my problem. You can see that white crusty looking thing. That's the part of the ground strap. That's delicious looking. I'm sure that's causing some of the problem. Looks like I'm gonna have to get this out of the way or take that off. This seems like it's gonna be less of a hassle because I've tried taking this off before and it's a pain in the buns. So she's got the tiny fingers and tiny hands that
Ow, that scared me. I was leaking water everywhere.
Oh, nice.
It scared me so much. I thought it was some kind of like rat or something.
Acid.
Yeah, it's water.
Well, this thing has just been filling up with water, so I don't know if there's a drain plug. There probably should be. Maybe I should put a drain in there. I don't know, any of you vet folks ever seen that before? Put it down in the comments. Just can't tell people to get good help these days. Got Batman out here helping me too. All right, so I realize now that a lot of you guys, if
your vet owners have probably been screaming at me through your screens that you can't get the battery out through the top. You got to take it out with that. So I hear you. Give me a second. All right, so we got the battery out, and there's the ground strap thing I was telling you about. It's a secondary ground. It's looking crustier than Mr. Krabs. So let's get that cleaned up, take it apart, and then I'm gonna have to cut that off and splice it into my new one. So I'm trying to track down where the ground straps to the engine. Yeah, I found it. It's right there. It's got a bunch of doohickeys attached to it, so this ought to be fun. I think I read in one review on the cable I bought that the hole at the end of the new strap is too small for this bolt. So I'm gonna take this bolt out and see how it looks up against the new strap. So there's the bolt that goes inside the block. Yeah, not gonna work. I have to get my drill out and get that bigger. Well, I had to wallow her out to 1/2 inch, you know, for an AC Delco GM brand. Still gotta finagle the part to get it on, I guess. Well, that was a royal pain in the neck, but I got it on there. I'm gonna work on getting the old one snaked out and then get this battery in. And so here's the old one. We have to get this wire off and put a new connector on the bottom of it. Go in that hole right there. Get it connected to my new lead. All right, and just like that, my daylight is almost spent. Got the new cable on, routed down to the block. Got everything put back together up in the engine compartment. And I'm ready to start the car. All right, here we go. Bring the thunder. Well, when you know it, nice freshly charged battery. She fires right off. Now I just got to figure out, get my tester on the electrical system here and just see while it's sitting if there's any kind of an amp draw on the car to figure out if there's any kind of parasitic draw. I suspect, you know, courtesy light, radio, even the aftermarket alarm system that's on here that's no longer working, it may still be drawing power. All right, so I've got my meter out. I got it set to check for amps. Right now I've got it set on a 10 amp scale. Again, going off of Google, off of the interwebs, and finding out how I'm supposed to be doing this. One lead goes into the negative and the other lead plugs into where the cable plugs in. And this should read nothing. That would tell us that there isn't an amp draw. So I'm gonna reach down and touch this, see what happens. Okay, so I got about 2.8 amps. And I've got dome lights on. So if I sit here, you'll see once the light goes out, the meter drops down. Now this should be reading 0. So on a 10 amp scale, it's 0.02. So I do have something that's drawing some amps off of my system here. So I'm gonna unplug this, should drop to 0. So what I'm gonna do next is somehow get this to stay in there and then start pulling some fuses and seeing what kind of result I'm gonna get over here. I've only got 2 hands and this isn't gonna be able to work with trying to keep the camera going and showing the results. So I'm going to perform the test, come back and report what I find. I'm going to start pulling fuses and see if I can get that 0.2 to actually go away. I'll find out what circuit that is and then determine what could be on that circuit that's causing the problem. So trying to narrow it down, see what we can find out. Okay, I'm out here with my helper again and we have a result. When I removed all the fuses, nothing changed except for the courtesy lights of the radio and clock, which was the one that I plugged back in a previous episode. So there's something on the circuit that's drawing 0.02 amps. So I have to do some digging. If it's my radio install that's causing it, if it happens to be the alarm system. I think what I'm gonna do next is I'm going to take the underside dash panel off again, which I dread doing because it was a real pain in the buns to put this thing back up here, but I'm gonna take this down and get after that little toggle switch that I had on there before, that I noticed before. I'm going to take that toggle switch and turn it off if that's causing anything or drawing any amperage. So it's late for tonight. I think I'm going to call it a night, and then we'll try to pick this back up when I've got some daylight and some more time to mess with it. So stay tuned. All right, so it's actually been a few weeks after I did the voltage test and the amp draw on my electrical system, and every time I've come out to the car the last several weeks, it pretty much starts right up, and I haven't had any dead battery issues like I had before, except for most recently. I went to start the car and it failed to start on the first time around, and then I went to start it again and everything was completely dead, like no electrical system at all in the car. And come to find out, I have a wire issue near the starter. I was actually down by the school watching my kids at their sports practice, and went to get back in the car and it was dead as a doornail. Checked my ground wire to the battery that I replaced, and I checked a few other connections and grounds and stuff. Everything seems to be in order. Then I went over to the starter. I had the key in the on position, wiggled some of the wires, and I heard the dash fan motor kick back on. So there's something loose on my starter that's just kind of cutting the circuit and not letting any power to the car. I did the amp test on the vehicle. There may be a parasitic draw on this thing, but like I said, it's been weeks and I haven't had any issues with the car starting other than this wire issue that I've located. I do know that the previous battery was going bad. It was junk. So I replaced it. And so what I'm gonna do is get the car jacked up. Over here, I'm gonna take a look at the starter wires and see what I can diagnose. And hopefully it'll wrap this thing up so that I don't have to deal with these electrical issues again. And right off the bat, there's a wire just dangling. But I am noticing that this nut is not even all the way down. Looks like it's even cross thread, so that's great. That's probably my hard starting problem I've been having. That's no gooder. Repair on that, see if that helps me out. I thought I had a bad starter because I had some really horrific sounding starts recently, and I think it's just because the power's getting cut mid crank. I'll get this nut off of here, try to clean it up a little bit, and then try to get this zipped down tight so that it'll stop failing on me. Doesn't really help either that my starter is a little bit loose. I'm gonna tighten the starter bolts down. Well, it's been cross thread, so I don't know if this nut's gonna go back on or not, but let's send it, see what we can do. Well, looks like I'm getting a new starter. Great. Here's your problem. Looks like I'm gonna make a trip to the parts store. Well, update. My daylight's spent. Went into town, got a new remanufactured starter, and I might have stopped for a milkshake. Let's get this baby on there. Basically have to bring it in from over here. Had a couple really hard starts. It sounded like the flywheel's getting chewed up, but I see some shiny up there on the teeth. Don't see any teeth missing, and nothing fell out when I took the inspection cover off. So I guess we're okay. Now it's gonna the arduous task of getting this thing up underneath here and try not to drop this 50-pound starter on my face. Alright, after much wrestling, got all my connections nice and tight. Got the two bolts in, got the inspection cover cleaned up, put back on. This was a pain in the neck. I hope I don't have to take this out again. Let's try to start her up, see how she sounds. Alright, here we go. Yippee-ki-yay. Started right up pretty decently. Didn't have that weird skip and grinding sound. Turn again. Well, there she is. I think it's finally ironed out. New battery, new negative battery cable. Had to get a new starter because I broke the old one, but made better connections on the solenoid on the starter. I'm hoping this finally took care of the little electrical gremlins I was having with this thing starting and hard starts and all that kind of stuff. That'll do it for this episode of the Project Poorvette. Hope you guys enjoy the series. If you do, consider subscribing, hit that notification bell, and as always, we appreciate you guys watching. God bless, and we'll see you next time.